Yeah, so I did some bits of coaching whilst I was a player at Saracens. Back in 2012, I think it was, Eddie sent us an email. He was out in Japan and he asked me if I had a few days spare one summer. He said, if in the off season, he said, if you fancy it, come out to Japan and do a bit of coaching. So I decided to do it. Went out for about 9 or 10 days. Coached with the Japan national team with Eddie. And then at the end of that, he said, we're over in Europe in November. Coach with us again. And so I did. Saracens, who I played for at the time, allowed me to do that and take a bit of time so just another couple of weeks. And then from then, for the rest of my time as a player, any time I had any period off, I was coaching with Japan. And he kept asking me to coach. It was for a bit longer. It was for 3 or 4 weeks. And then he basically said, when you retire, we'd like you to join Japan full time. So 2014, I retired as a player. And my last game was that Saturday afternoon. My playing contract ended at midnight. 1 minute past midnight, my coaching contract started, and I was on a plane that morning, the Sunday morning, to Vancouver to join the Japan national team in Canada. And from then, I was full time. I've been a full-time coach since then. Oh, I think the thing I miss is that contest that you're involved in every single week, because I've been for 16 years as a player and been involved in that every single week. Now you're involved as a coach. You're not on the field, which I enjoyed that part of the contest. And certainly as an international coach, you go periods without the games, and that's the thing that you miss. But then you're involved in amazing occasions and get to work with some brilliant players. So it's I feel very privileged to have this experience. So the first people I think that inspired me would have been my school teachers. I never touched a rugby ball until I got into secondary school, and I met some teachers there that loved the game, brilliant at coaching it, and inspiring young people to really love it as well. So it's for those guys, and I'm still in touch with those guys regularly now, and I feel very grateful to have had the opportunity to learn the game from them. And so I think those were the first guys really. And then from there, if I talk about being involved in professional rugby, the guy who's been involved in my career a lot was Andy Robinson. That he was the coach at Bath when I finished school and signed for Bath. And I was coached by him for 2 years there, and I thought he was brilliant. And then he moved to England, and a year later, I was then involved with the England squad, and I was captain. I remember being presented my first England shirt by Andy, by Robbo, and I've always thought he was, and coached by him then for a long period of time at England. I thought he was a brilliant coach. I think that his understanding and grasp of fundamentals of the game and learning them from him were brilliant. For a brilliant forwards coach, that England forward pack he coached was a tough, uncompromising forward pack, and training built that pack, and his coaching with those players built that pack. And yeah, I thought he was tremendous. Eddie, keep looking ahead. Always keep looking ahead what the next challenge is, and he epitomises that. He's always striving to learn. One of the world's very best rugby coaches, yet never settled with what he currently is, always trying to get better. He's an example to all of us. I think that I've always felt this as a player or a coach. The best motivation comes from the playing group within. And there is no doubt about that. And I think that here at England we've got some fantastic leaders with Dylan Hartley, with leaders throughout the pack. Dan Cole leading the scrum there, the influence of Joe Marler. The list could go on. The best motivation comes from those players within that are just desperate to improve, desperate to get better, hungry to win more games of rugby and improve performance. A coach definitely has the role to play. We try to create the environment, the training environment, the learning environment, but it's the best motivation is always from the players themselves. Oh, I think there's lots we can learn from all kinds of different people. Post the Australia tour last year, I spent some time in Australia, went visited a rugby league team, visited an Aussie rules team, and the coaching there I thought was brilliant. And to be able to experience that, to learn from that, is a real privilege. We've had some visitors here that really helped us. Well, I mean, the Chelsea coaches were in recently, and it was great to chat with them and get their experiences. So I think it's always finding different ways in which you can learn and get better.